Welcome to Construction Heroes of the World. Today, I have the honor of welcoming a guest whose career truly reflects the spirit of this podcast, Mr. Jake van Baarsel. Jake is a structures construction engineer and an estimator currently retired from Skanska, California. Jake has a legacy that spans bridges, metro stations in Los Angeles, and some of the most important infrastructure projects in our industry. He is a problem solver, a mentor, and a leading force for so many successful teams. In recognition of his contributions, Jake received the Golden Beaver Award, one of the most prestigious honors in heavy construction. In efforts to give back to the industry, he has created special project books filled with photos and design insights, a gift he shared with engineers, site staff, and even those of us who supported his work from the supply side to pass on wisdom and pride in our craft. Jake, thank you for building not just structures but people, knowledge, and legacy. On behalf of construction heroes of the world, it's been an absolute honor to have you as our very first guest. I would like to take this time to walk through some of your story, reflect on the highs, the challenges, and what has stayed with you. So let's jump on it. Jake, welcome aboard.
Well, thank you.
So, Jake, let's begin our session. The first question, which is coming to my mind, that in the beginning of your career, what first drew you to the field of structural engineering? And how did your early experiences shape your career?
Yeah, it's somewhat interesting. I never had a desire or a specific goal to become an engineer, but after high school, you have to make a choice
Correct.
to go to college. So I decided to go to engineering college and try it out. I had some second thoughts during the first year, especially, but I stuck with it. Um, and I'm glad I did. And so once I finished my college, I had to spend some time in the army. That was mandatory over there. And
Correct.
then I immigrated to the United States because my wife was American.
Mhm.
So a week after I immigrated, somebody offered me a job for a small grading contractor.
Mhm.
Became like a takeoff engineer. Uh,
Estimation.
yeah, estimating, grade checker in the field, water truck driver, just a little bit of everything, even
Good.
computer programming.
Correct.
So, but I was 1 week in the United States, so hey, I'll see this as an opportunity to prove myself and to get started. A year later, my wife's father, my father-in-law,
Mhm.
he was a mechanic for a relatively large, heavy civil contractor in Southern California, and he informed me that there's an opening for a construction engineer. So yeah, I interviewed, and 4 hours later, I was hired,
Very good.
and that's yeah, that was the beginning of my construction career as a yeah design engineer, designing false work, and that's how it started.
Beautiful.
It's yeah, like I said, I didn't have a specific goal in mind when I grew up. It just fall into play in its place, and just through networking and yeah, I'm glad it started off that way.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, Jake, for more clarity, can you please describe your role as a structures construction engineer and an estimator?
Yeah, like I said, I started my construction engineering career, if you will, with this highway contractor in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
And in California, Southern California especially, most bridges are cast in place box girder bridges, concrete bridges. There's some precast girder bridges, but not too many. So these bridges, they require formwork for the cast in place portion of the concrete. So what you see on the screen is an example of some of the falsework designs that I did for these box girder bridges. The design typically consists of a foundation, the post design, the towers, and steel beams, formwork. Another challenge is that the contractors usually have an inventory of material,
Correct.
posts, beams. So sometimes it's more of a challenge to find the material to design with than the actual design itself.
Correct.
So
Yes.
that was somewhat unique working for a contractor as a design engineer. You just work with the material you have, and if you don't have the material, then once in a while we have to buy some for specific designs. So on this picture, you can see the timber post and the steel beams.
Yeah.
And this would be the final. Well, this was the final outcome. So it's like you can see, it's all cast in place concrete. So very nicely looking bridges. Yeah,
Beautiful finish. Yes.
the falsehood gets complicated when things when the bridges are over freeways or railroads, and then so the layout is sometimes a challenge. Again, design is probably not too complicated, but it's just a challenge to come up with a good layout, have the material available. And the design criteria is usually based on Caltrans's falsework manual.
Correct. Yeah,
So,
that's what I was thinking about.
right. In Southern California, bridge contractors, they like to use the steel pipe and the tin post. So that's somewhat standard for Southern California.
Correct. Yeah.
Another thing with the being a construction engineer for here's another example for box girder bridges in California.
Correct.
Another challenge is to satisfy the foreman or the superintendents. They have their own way of building things, and I kind of like that. Have some interactions with the guys in the field, and just make sure you give them a plan that they agree with. Otherwise, they're gonna kick and scream all the way through the construction process. But that's part of being a construction engineer. You gotta be flexible and kind of understand where the superintendent is coming from or the foreman, and just work within his comfort level, if you will.
True.
Here you see different types of falsework. You got steel pipe on the right, and the timber post, the timber bracing on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And for steel pipe, we use either rebar bracing or cable bracing.
Right.
So it's quite a variety.
It's quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's again, it's all temporary works because you have to take it down as well. So that's somewhat unique about our design as a construction engineer for our contractor. It all has to come down, so you don't weld too many beams together or use too many connections. And a lot of times, if you start the design of a falsework system, you're already thinking about how to remove it.
Mm-hmm.
there are certain ways of removing it with winches or special equipment. So that's so much unique to a construction engineer. There's a short life of your designs, and all the material you use, you like to reuse that material for the next bridge.
True. True.
Well, that makes it interesting.
Yes, it's quite interesting. Yes.
Yeah, the company that I worked for originally did a lot of, again, highway work, but then through mergers and acquisitions and whatnot, the company changed into a more national construction company. And instead of bridges, we started to do a variety of other work, including light rail in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I even did a launching pad in Cape Canaveral. Not a big job, but yeah, it was kind of fun to go out there and design some falsework for that.
It's quite interesting.
Yeah, we did some dam work here in California. And then, the underground stations in LA, the subways, quite a big difference from bridges, obviously. Now you get into supportive excavation designs, utility support. You can see on this slide.
Yeah.
This is also in the middle of a busy street, so you have to design the decking, which is almost a bridge design, if you will. It has to conform to AASHTO criteria.
Right.
So it's we kind of lost the feel of a small company when we did all the bridges in California.
Correct.
So you lost that, but then the nice thing about growing as a national company and with different divisions, you get to experience quite a variety of designs.
Sure.
So that was good for my career to be exposed to different types of construction, different types of engineering. Because underground, it's quite different. You always have pressures coming in from the side, the soil pressures, surcharge pressures, and you have to transfer those to the station. So it's it's a little different than bridge work. And then after, not after, but the last few years, I also worked on a marine project. It's a bridge in Seattle, Portage Bay Bridge. And this bridge required a trestle. So again, quite a variety from tunnel work. You go from underground construction to marine work.
Marine works. Yeah.
So
Interesting. Yeah.
it's interesting.
Challenging too.
It's challenging. You have to learn new things. Sometimes you think you're too old to learn, and then something else comes up. So, but that makes it interesting.
True.
Part of my responsibility in my career was also being the structures estimator. So a little different mindset as a construction engineer. A construction engineer, you always think, there's always a solution. You're always optimistic that it can be done.
Right.
As an estimator, you don't want to be too optimistic, but the last few projects I estimated were billion-dollar projects with long durations, and sometimes it's hard to predict what's going to happen 5, 6, or 10 years later.
Correct.
Especially the underground work in Los Angeles. We went through COVID. We went through an inflation the last few years. So as an estimator, sometimes things
Go through the cycles.
things become a challenge to predict the future.
True.
So So that's some of my work as a construction engineer and estimator
Perfect.
that
Perfect.
that I did throughout my career.
That's nice. So, Jake, could you share a few landmark projects that significantly impacted your professional journey?
Yeah, the first project is again, this is in Southern California. This is right in my hometown. It was a big interchange
Wow.
in California with big connectors. And this job was a large job and had a variety of structures. So it was almost a summary of what I did the time before this project.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it had large connectors. It had small bridges, small widenings, bridges over freeways, bridges over railroads. So it was, yeah, quite a diverse project. It was also close to my house, so I drive by almost on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So my kids and grandkids can see what I worked on. So that was kind of
Quite interesting. Yes, that's true.
that's why this project had yeah, an impact. It still has every time I drive by. Yeah, I'm still somewhat proud
Clo-
on what I
Close to
did.
the house and close to the heart.
Yeah, exactly. The
True.
only problem was when, because I live so close, every time the wind was blowing pretty hard or an earthquake happened, yeah, you always worried about the fault structure. So
Stayed.
on this project,
Correct.
and we also had a good team, so that helps. So that's always good to have on the project, but it's complicated, and if you have a team that works well together, that's a big plus.
True. True.
Another project that had impact on my career was the repair projects for the Northridge earthquake. I think this earthquake happened in 1994. There was some bridges that collapsed, or quite a few bridges collapsed, and we received an emergency contract to repair these bridges.
Mhm.
So, you got the plans, or uh, those were not fully designed plans yet, but you got something to bid on.
Correct.
And then a few days later, you became uh, aware. Well, they let you know if you were a low bidder or not.
Mhm.
And the next evening or so, you're going to be
In
building
the
funds.
job.
Yeah. So that was quite a challenge because you work 24/7, a lot of interaction with the field. It was complicated. The bridges were higher than, at some points, higher than 100 feet, 120 feet tall.
Wow.
It was going over freeways, railroads, high pressure gas lines. So a little stressful. And these projects also, they have bonuses and penalties are tied to the schedule. So if you finish a day early, you receive a $300,000 bonus
Wow.
per day. Or if you finish late, it's $300,000 penalty per day. So it's yeah, a little stressful, but I think we finished early, so that was nice.
Correct. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Another project that had an impact on my career was a freeway project in San Diego. Yeah.
Mhm.
Part of this project was a precast segmental balance cantilever bridge,
Mhm.
which is it's a concrete bridge, but it's precast and it's put together with it's called a launching truss, what you see on this picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a completely different way of building bridges than what we're used to. You don't see these bridges too often in California or in the United States. So with this type of construction, you start dealing with companies from around the world. We dealt with companies from Italy, Rosani the Ecker and
Mm-hmm.
Deal to supply the trusses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you start to enter into a whole different or another world of bridge designers. So that's quite interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
I
huge.
did the design for this bridge. I think they're bought by Sistra right now, but they had some smart engineers, and it's just a joy to work with. A whole different type of engineering.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, it that's had quite an impact on my career.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And then you're familiar with these underground projects. The East Side Gold Line project was the first one we did, the first one I did.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is a totally different type of construction on bridges. There you can see supportive excavation with internal bracing. The
Mm-hmm.
pipe struts figure as the bracing
Correct.
system. So that's drastically different than bridge construction. Now on this project, I also did the estimates, and this was a design build estimate,
Mm-hmm.
somewhat which is quite different than a typical bid build estimate. For a design build estimate, you spend a lot more time on the pre-construction part of it. You work with task force groups trying to determine what station or what kind of structure you're going to build. So you do preliminary designs. You work with the designers on estimating the rebar densities, for example, or the concrete thicknesses. So the whole pre-construction part of it is quite involved. And this was my first design build job where I started with the pre-construction. We, we were low bidder or
Mm-hmm.
best value, did the construction. Um, from beginning to end.
So in design build, you always get a chance at every phase that you can track your activities, correct? From financial implication to the actual one, what is happening.
Yes, yes. It introduces um, quite an interesting range of activities that you monitor, um, and you work together with the different discipline groups like the tunnel, the group, the miners,
Mm-hmm.
the architects, the consultants. So there are a lot more parties involved in building these structures. Um, Engineering-wise, it's also more demanding than a bridge job. In a bridge
Mm-hmm.
job, you give the full superintendent a set of plans and he runs with it.
Correct.
Over here, on these underground projects, as soon as you start digging a hole, things change. You don't know exactly
Correct.
what you.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more interaction with the fields, a lot more interactions with the workers. That's it was a good job.
It's
Uh,
quite impressive. Quite impressive.
um, so that was the first design build underground project that I was involved with. Um, Again, interaction with the miners and the tunnels. That's can be quite complicated. And then the other project that's had an impact was the underground subways that we did the last 15 years. That was in downtown LA, the regional connector, and then the west side extension at West LA. So these were complicated projects because you're working right next to high rises. You're working in a busy city. It's complicated. um, a lot of different stakeholders you have to please. So it's yeah, these were not easy projects.
Yeah, I can see it's quite challenging and very impressive.
Yeah, and these projects are also multi-billion-dollar projects, and it requires a full-time staff. So I was full-time on the regional and the West Side project with an engineering team. A lot of times you work in a district office and you can service the different projects from that office. In this case, now we were right there on the project, and that's a benefit that you're right there. You can see the problems. You react pretty fast if there's an issue arises. But it's yeah, it was quite a challenging two challenging projects.
Thank you, Jake. It's pretty
You
good.
can see
Nice to
stations.
see this.
Familiar with these stations? This is Hope Station, 5 stories deep.
Hmm.
Um, and this is West LA. The purple line is the outline of the station, 80 feet below ground.
Hmm.
So on the right, you can see the traffic just keeps driving. People have no idea what's going on down below. So this is what you
Yes.
can see down below.
Wow.
So it's yeah, quite a challenge to put that off. The other projects that had an impact was the trestle projects or the work bridge at the Portage Bay in Seattle. Um, these bridges required a work bridge alongside of the main bridge that we were replacing. This
Hmm.
bridge was replaced with a cast in place segmental. Again, that's another type of construction that we were used to.
True.
So yeah, this marine work again is totally different than underground work.
Underground.
So
Yes.
yeah, keep on your toes.
Beautiful, beautiful, Jake. Very impressive. So, Jake, let's go back to the next question. The project like yours, what you're doing, it's amazing and really challenging. How important is leadership and teamwork in managing large and complex construction projects?
Um, yeah, the teamwork obviously is important. Um, the challenge on large project is to keep everybody motivated. If your project that lasts 10 years, then yeah, engineers they get burned out or they want to move on to something else. So you have to keep it interested to them. Um, Another thing I like to establish is a trust with the agencies. For example, the projects in LA, they were complicated because they're so close to buildings. So we have to keep track of the movement. Um, I'm not sure if I can show you. Yes, for example, this is downtown downtown LA. This is Flower Street, and right next to these sport of excavation that you see on this plan
Yeah.
on this picture is they're high rises, so very risky. The owners of the high rises they hired structural engineers and uh, make sure that we don't do any damage to
Existing structure. Yeah.
their existing structures. And the owner Metro they want to make sure there's no additional movement. So yeah, we established a good trust, if you will, on the
Hmm.
project.
Hmm.
We sat down with structures engineers from the from the high-rise buildings. We sat down with the city. We sat down with Metro,
Nice.
and we decided that in the interest of the project, it's best to come up with a manual, if you will, or design. We call it a design approach report. At the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the job, we decided to get together and make sure that everybody's criteria is included in this report.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it's a long job, you have turnovers on not only the contractor side but also on the stakeholder side.
True.
So, if we submit a plan and it gets reviewed by an engineer on the city or from Metro, we want to make sure that they understand the rules that we designed this by and the rules that they're going to use to review
Mm-hmm.
the submittals by. So these design reports, that was one of the better things we did on the project to make sure that teamwork and the leadership understands that this is what we're going to design to, and this is what we're going to use throughout the project, and that was quite helpful.
Sure. Now, the next question is about innovation and technology, which young engineers will have an interest on it. How have you embraced innovation and technologies in your work, and what impact they have had on your approach?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because 40 years ago when I started designing false work, it was mostly done by hand calculations. Um, our drafting was done by hand. We didn't have any AutoCAD or MicroStation.
Right.
So at the beginning of the job of my career, yeah, those computer programs and software was just coming up in the industry. So yeah, I designed some computer programs myself and whatnot. So it was so I went through the whole process of transitioning from doing things by hand and starting using computers more often. So I'm kind of dating myself here, but so that was a big plus in my career that I was able to make that transition and.
Mm.
Um, I used and I started using. Well, like I said, first I designed I wrote my own programs, but then later Excel came up and
Sure.
some other beam analysis programs, for example, start becoming more frequently used.
Mhm.
So I saw that development early on in my career. I was able to take advantage of it. And later on, you saw the modeling programs coming up, BIM and SketchUp.
True.
So I'm not a modeling expert, but I use SketchUp quite a bit to make complicated structures more easily explainable to our guys in the field, and yeah, they enjoy that. Also, when you model something, um, you kind of understand the construction part of the structure that you're trying to build.
Mhm.
So if you can model it, you can build it. That was my
Philosophy, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's so I saw that development throughout my career. So those modeling softwares, yeah, like I said, I'm not an expert in it, but it's quite a help in explaining and then showing the managers, the engineers, what we're trying to build.
Sure. So, Jake, now going to the next question. First of all, congratulations for winning the 2024 Golden Beaver Award. It is a prestigious milestone. What does this recognition mean to you personally and professionally?
Yeah, it was quite a surprise, quite an honor. Yeah, somewhat humbling too, knowing there are so many good engineers out there. It just showed me that I was fortunate to work with so many great builders and professionals. I was provided great opportunities throughout my career. Yeah, like I said earlier, the diverse work that was presented to me and provided to me, bridges, underground work, marine work, tunnel work. Um, yeah, I just consider myself very fortunate to be able to work on these type of projects with some great engineers, great teams. Um, yeah, I just hope that I can return the favor to young engineers and just be a mentor, share resources, share ideas. So I hope I can, even if I retire, I still um, be able to encourage, yeah, the construction world.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, with your decades of experience in the construction industry, what are some of the most valuable lessons you have learned through adversity or through decisions during your career? I'm sure your advice will be very, very helpful to all the construction players, right from CEOs, engineers, planners, and executors.
Yeah, as an estimator, I've learned that it's very easy to get into a serious trouble. It's easier to get into serious trouble than to get out of it. So yeah, make sure that you think twice before you commit to something as an estimator. Um, Lessons learned as a construction engineer. It's good to have trust from your managers, trust from your engineers, and trust from those you work with because they rely on you. Um, so that's something I learned that it's a valuable um, aspect of the construction industry. You have to trust each other. Um, and what I also noticed, what brings greatest satisfaction to my career was is helping others to succeed. So just working with people, working with young engineers is just great, and just coming alongside and giving them the resources. So knowing that you can influence or have an impact on a young engineer, that's a good feeling. It's You don't want anybody to fail because if they fail, all of the company fails. So it's good to come alongside, and well, mistakes happen, but um, it's always room for encouragement and yeah, coming alongside. Another lesson I learned: it's good to keep good records of what you did. Emails and whatnot. Nowadays with uh, litigation, yeah, you have to make sure you keep good records. And I'm not very good at meeting minutes, but yeah, it's good, especially if they ask you on these long projects. They ask you detailed questions of what you did 10 years ago. So yeah, I don't know. I forget things a couple of months ago. So yeah, it's keeping good records of your decisions, the changes. Yeah, that's always it's always good.
Sure, sure.
And as a construction engineer, lessons learned is there's always a solution. So yeah, first day you panic if there's some issue comes up. First day you panic. Second day, yeah, sorry, you're thinking about a solution. So there's always something
Okay, yeah, it's true.
that and treating everybody with respect. Knowing what's going on in the field, talking to the superintendents, the foremen, the carpenters. Yeah, Um, if you treat people with respect, that's valuable, and that's something that yeah, I enjoyed
Right.
throughout my career. That yeah, you can. Everybody has something to offer. The
True.
CEO of the project, but also the carpenter and how he does things, and so it's something I enjoyed.
So, Jake, what trends or transformation do you see shaping the future of structural engineering and the broader construction industry?
Yeah, like I said, when I started my career, the computer programs, engineering programs became more available. So at the end of my career, yeah, everybody's talking about AI and how AI is impacting the industry. I don't see it too much yet in the construction industry.
Mhm.
So I'm curious to see how that's going to develop. Um, Another issue that's becoming more important is sustainability. Um,
Mhm.
the last few years, we're talking about developing low carbon concrete. Um, so that's probably going to be a focus in the next few years. It's sustainability and AI. Um, and the other aspect is the economy. The nice thing about infrastructure is if the economy is bad, then the governments they try to give more money to infrastructure just to boost the economy again. If the economy goes good, then yeah, the government again is going to give more money to infrastructure. So I think infrastructure is a good business to be in.
Sure.
Um, I still think that we're not quite there yet with our rail capacity.
Mhm.
The freeways, they're at capacity, and widening a freeway here and there is just moving the bottleneck, in my opinion. So I hope to see more rail construction, um, but that's, yeah, time will tell. The government at the moment, the high speed rail in California is not doing too well, but I hope we're not going to give up on that.
So, Jake, the next question, it's a little personal. How do you maintain work-life balance, and what legacy would you like to leave for the next generation of construction professionals?
Yeah, um, work-life balance, that's a problem. That's a problem because these projects, yeah, they require a lot of attention. So what I did for work-life balance, because you just can't turn it off when you go home as a designer.
True.
Uh, you work on the design, and then at night and the evening, on the weekends, you're still thinking about the best way to solve it. So yeah, you can't turn it off, and you're working on a schedule constraints. You have a budget to worry about. So work-life balance for a construction engineer is not always easy. What helped for me was, yeah, I like to. Well, I used to do a lot of long distance running. So the nice thing about long distance running, the only thing you can think of after a while is how am I going to make it to the finish line?
Hmm.
So your brain is not thinking about work anymore. It just can I make it? Can I make it to the finish line, or what does it take to make one more step or one more mile?
True.
So that helped for me. Yeah, with my engineers, I also made sure that, like on a Friday afternoon, if they want to just get away, yeah, they don't have to give me a vacation request. Just go, and just relax. So you have to watch out for that.
That's true.
Yeah, construction engineering is not for everybody. If you enjoy it, it's a lot easier to handle the work-life balance.
True.
But it's not an 8 to 5 job where You show up, do your work, and go home and don't think about it. Yeah, it's um, and also over here in the United States. It's a little different than in Europe. In Europe, the construction industry just shuts down for 3 or 4 weeks in the summer, and everybody goes on vacation.
True.
Here you don't. Here you have to work overtime before you go, and then catch up after you come back. Um, so yeah, that's a challenge. Our our bosses were aware of that at the end of my career, and
Mhm.
they increased vacation time for engineers.
Sure.
Um, One boss that I had, he provided free golf lessons once a week for
Right.
our engineers. So yeah, we have to keep an eye on that. Some
Yes.
people can handle it. Some people it's a little tough.
Sure. Sure.
And as far as legacy, yeah, you mentioned earlier the photo albums and the engineering books.
Right.
They've been well received. The first one I did for the East Side's Gold Line was a photo album of the work we did. I just ordered 2 copies, one for my office and one for home.
Do you have it handy to show it to the viewers? Just quickly. Yes. Yes. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I ordered a few of these for my, or 2 of those, one for office, one for my house, and then somebody found out about it, and he wanted a copy.
Correct.
The
Thank you.
next,
Thank you very much for that.
the next person wanted 20 copies, and the other. And that was almost 15 years ago. Yeah, that was no longer than that. And last week, I still got a phone call from somebody who wanted a copy of that book. Well, I don't have any more books, but so it was very well received. I think I made about 300 books or so, or ordered 300 books.
But you put a lot of efforts. I saw that.
Yeah, at the end of the project, you take a lot of pictures, but you leave them in your computer. Um, you never look at them again. So I decided to make a photo album and make them available to the people working on the project. Um, and then lately, I also included my work plans and sometimes my calculations and put them in a book and give it to the engineers at the end of the project. And that was very well received.
Sure. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. It's great work. So, Jake, almost coming to an end of our journey. The last question, Jake, why do you believe construction engineering is a great career path for young students? And what qualities should they bring to it? I would like to add one more thing into it, that in the recent time, young students are hesitant to select construction as a career by looking to muddy boots, meaning lack of glamour, against the profession. So I will appreciate your views onto it.
Yeah, I think being a construction engineer, or in my case, a design construction engineer, um, it's a very rewarding career. You can see the structures that you build, and they'll have usually a lifespan of 50 to 75 years. So it's something that you can be proud of. Um, it's not always easy. It's not an 8 hour a day job. So it's not for everyone. Um, but if you like to be in the office full time, you have an opportunity to do that as a design engineer. Um, I like to be in the field more than in the office. So for me, it was a good combination of being a construction engineer. Um, you work in the office on a design, then you go to the field, discuss it with the workers. Um, so that interaction I enjoy doing that. You get a little bit of both the office life and the field life. Lots of opportunities on infrastructure. Um, like I said, if the economy goes good, they provide projects. If the economy goes bad, they'll stimulate the projects with infrastructure projects.
Mhm.
Um, So yeah, not stuck in the office. No suits. I can wear jeans, kind of like that. Um, and as a construction engineer, I don't think AI can replace you that easily. But that's just that's what I
Right.
think at the moment. Um, but I can see that some people don't see this as a promising career. But my son, for example, my oldest son, he was a microbiology major and
Mhm.
graduated from UCLA. But he just didn't like that environment, being in a lab or in an office. So right now he's working as a construction engineer for our company, for Skanska.
Pretty good.
Uh, Doing, yeah, he likes, again, the teamwork, um, just being out in the fields, also, still have some office experience. Um, yeah, like I said, it's not for everyone. I think it's a good career choice if you like to build, you like to be creative, you like to be part of something that you can see that you worked on 10, 15 years from now. So
And you feel great that this is what you have created. You are part of it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You build something that matters. People are using the subways right now that we built. Um, the flyovers they extensively used here in Riverside on the bridges that we built. Um, yeah, it. It's like I said, it's not for everyone, but it's a rewarding career.
Sure. Definitely, definitely. Excellent. Jake, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Your story as a structures construction engineer, an estimator, a mentor, a problem solver is a reminder of what true leadership looks like in our industry. You have inspired teams, shaped skylines, and passed on knowledge that will live well beyond your projects. On behalf of construction heroes of the world, in recognition of your legacy, not just in structures but in spirit, we'll be making a donation in your name to Sick Kids Hospital. As we all know, building is not just about concrete and steel. It's about giving back, it's about caring and shaping a better future. Thank you again, Jake. We see you, we honor you, and we salute our hero.
Well, thanks, Varrock. Thanks for the nice words. I don't consider myself a hero. I
But
think that,
you are a hero for us, and you are a hero for everyone. I mean, this is amazing, amazing work, Jake. I have no words to say thanks to you, but really, really thank you. Thankful to you.
I appreciate it. Thanks,
Thank you.
Varrock.
Thank you. Thanks, Jake.